Just finished up locating all of these. There's no tape on the hood anymore. It's all mechanical now. All the bolts are in. All the hinge pins work, located. I figured out how to do this by myself using a ladder. Next thing I have to do is I've got to make 4 support rods to stabilize this in the wind, because I can't have that going on. And I think I've got a way to figure it. Well, I think I've got that figured out. And the dog's yapping, so I'm signing. I'm going to have to fabricate some more parts. These weren't in the original thinking. I knew I was going to come to it, but I couldn't visualize it. I'm going to build a part to accept this rod with a spring compression clamp here. So as the rod goes up, if you spring this thing together, it will slide. When it's open, it will clamp at 2 points on the rod. And it's going to have a slight 3-dimensional shape to accept this slight bend that I have in the triangles. These will all go in to each one of these. Here's the rod that I'll be using. I picked this up today. Another 20 feet of steel. Actually another 40 feet of steel. This was $8. This is a 1/4-inch cold roll. But it's going to be stiff enough that it's not going to get all beat up and bent. I drilled holes for this rod to go in here. And this back rod is real important. When you do the setup in the field and you're all by yourself and you're trying to get this bonnet on, this rod is going to hold up this top part. And it's going to do the same thing on the front. There's 2 on each side, and they're the ones that position the triangles. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this so a tall man can do it without using a ladder and set up and tear down and not beat the panels to pieces when you put them in. One other thing I've got to do, I've got to build some reinforcing right here on this panel, because this is carrying a lot of load. But I've done all the marks, and I'm pretty well convinced myself I know how to form it. It's just going to be something to stiffen this back part a little bit more, so that I don't end up bending it right here one day in a wind trying to put this up. I'm going to reinforce that part right there. I've already reinforced it, but it needs additional strengthening, and it needs a flange that goes down and just sits on the top of the oven here. I'm trying to keep it light, so that's where I am on a Tuesday night, the last day of June. I didn't get her fired today, but I'm getting close, and I'm the client. So, and my can is holding up reasonably well with all this load on it. One final thing I've done, got the door off the oven, and these triangular parts are the scrap that came off when I clipped this piece of steel here to make the pitch in the face. You get these big ass triangles coming off. So I threw them into the oven shell, because of the way I bent it, I could do that, and I've doubled up the face of the oven shell. Now, it's pretty heavy. It's a heavy door now, but it has a lot more strength, and it's going to withstand the torque of it being opened and closed a lot. You really have to pay attention to metal fatigue when you're fooling with this stuff. And it comes with experience. But anyway, I've reinforced the face of the door with 4 pieces of scrap that came off the project. So here's all the scrap. I got one little long strip, 2.5 inches wide right there, that's probably 7 feet, and that little dinky pile right there. And then I have This small piece of black left. This is a large piece of black, and that's a piece of red. That's the steel that's left over. So the scrap has been minimal. That's the scrap right there. Those are all good usable pieces I just showed you. This is truly scrap, so I really did a good job with the layout on the steel. Most of the steel that I cut up is in this oven. The coolest ass sticker going. I got a feeling I'm going to have a lot of stickers on this oven.